Yo guys, what is up? It's your boy TRUEDBZ back with another video, and today we are continuing the celebration week of 2021, and today is going to be probably the most unique out of the top 5 lists. Today I'm going to be talking about my top 5 opponents that I've ever fought against. Now this includes all games that I've played, Dragon Ball, Skullgirls, Guilty Gear, you name it. Every single game that I've fought against other people with are contenders for this list. So without further ado and without delay, let's talk about the honorable mentions. Alright, starting off with honorable mention number 1. So this guy comes from Dragon Ball FighterZ. So the guy's name is TRUEDBZMaster, and he premiered in the video Gogeta Super Saiyan 4 Jiren Krillin number 1. So back then when I was taking YouTube more casually than anything, I did upload my fights to YouTube, and I didn't really take it that seriously, and in fact most of my titles are just the characters that I played. And in this particular video, Gogeta, Jiren, and Krillin, I fought XD Madness in a pretty long set. The video is about 40 minutes long, so it was probably about an hour session that I played with the guy, and I had a lot of fun. Surprisingly, and he played a pretty unique team. He played Kid Buu, Super Baby 2, and the newly released Gogeta 4. And like I said, we had a pretty good long fight. I had a lot of fun with it, even though in the beginning I was kind of irritated by, you know, netcode and stuff like that. But once you get used to it and you kind of just like accept that this is what the game is, you can have a lot of fun, especially if the player you're fighting knows their fundamentals, and you know they can actually, you know, give you a decent fight without relying on system mechanics all the time. And that's what this guy pretty much provided. Most of the fight we did was pretty scrambly, but you know, I could tell that, you know, I wasn't a Gogeta main like at all. Mine was pretty basic, and his Gogeta was pretty much the same way. But I think the sets that we had was pretty okay, and that's why he's in honorable mentions. It was a pretty fun fight, but it didn't really push me to become better or anything. It was just a fun, casual set. So yeah. Alright, so without further ado, let's go into honorable mention number 2. Alright, honorable mention number 2 goes to the Black Hashira. So, the Black Hashira premiered in the video called Blue Vegeta Jiren Krillin number 2. So like I said in the other honorable mention, back then I wasn't taking YouTube that seriously, so the video is literally just the characters that I was playing. And at the time, Blue Vegeta, Jiren, and Krillin was my main team, so this wasn't me testing out new characters. These were my best characters. The Black Hashira was running Trunks, Frieza, and Base Goku. And the thing about him is I actually met him on Discord through the official Dragon Ball FighterZ Discord. And I was looking for somebody to fight, and you know, he answered the call, and we, you know, did some sets. He knew his fundamentals. It was a pretty decent fight, but the reason why he's making the honorable mention is that his Frieza in particular really showed out. When his Frieza was on screen, whether it was on point or as an assist, like Frieza was dangerous. Like I really had to stay on my toes when Frieza was around. His Trunks and Base Goku was pretty okay. It was pretty average, but nothing, you know, too difficult to handle. But when Frieza came on, it was literally just a whole different battle. Like I didn't know what to do. But just like with XD Madness, the Black Hashira was a really fun opponent to fight. Had a pretty long set, you know, and yeah, we just had some decent fights overall. So yeah, he was good enough to be honorable mention. So let's go to honorable mention number 3. Alright, honorable mention number 3 goes to 14 Fly 2 Solo. So this guy debuted in a Guilty Gear Strive video, and this guy pretty much is responsible for one of the best moments on the channel, which it's another list coming in the future, so we'll see this guy's name again. But talking about the fight itself, this guy in particular was really fun to fight. In fact, Giovanna is pretty much one of the only characters that I really enjoy playing against in Guilty Gear, which is kind of an odd thing to say considering the fact that she's like a rush down character. Like, she wants to be in your face like all the time. But honestly, Giovanna isn't really like, or at least not at the level I'm at, where she's like really toxic or just annoying. Like, she just feels like a really strong character and a really fun character to play against, honestly. And 14 Fly to Solo really showed me, you know, that Geo isn't a character to play around with. Like, Geo can move across the screen really fast. She has really good frame advantage off one of her moves. You know, she's quick. She has really good damage and corner carry. Like, this guy really showed off what Geo could do, especially, you know, as a new player like myself, who doesn't really know what the game is or how to play it. Just seeing him, you know, move around the screen with Geo was really entertaining to fight against, and honestly, kind of a like, how you say, I guess what I'm trying to say, like, he made me want to, you know, play Geo for a little bit. I put in a little lab time with her, but it didn't stick for that long. But, you know, 14 Fly 2 Solo, really good opponent, and he's responsible for one of the greatest moments on the channel. But why is he on honorable mention? Well, just due to the fact that we haven't played since, you know, it's just consistency, really. Like, if I was friends with him and we were playing a lot, he'd probably be in the top 5, but consistency, you know, and consistency is going to show up later on in this list. In fact, it's going to be responsible for the number 5 pick, but, you know, consistency is a factor in talking about opponents, and, you know, I had a couple sets with him, but, you know, just never fought him again because matchmaking. But yeah, he's a really good, really strong Geo player, especially at a beginner level, or at least for me, and it was really fun to play against. So yeah, honorable mention number 3 goes to 14 Fly 2 Solo. So with that being said, let's go into the top 5. So let's get it. Number 5 on this list is a pretty familiar face if you know the channel. So number 5 is actually Pretty Boy 21. So this guy right here is probably my bestest online friend since, I don't even know for how long. I've known this guy for years now, but this guy has been in a multitude of videos. I'm pretty sure more than half the videos on this channel has him in it in some form or fashion, whether he's fighting me or he's in the background commentating with me. And this guy, I really owe this guy a lot when it comes to providing content for the channel and just overall being a good friend in general. But we're talking about, you know, him as an opponent. So him as an opponent is a pretty unique endeavor. So I have a core group of friends, which is about 4, 5, if you stretch it a little bit, 6. But he's one of the core people that I play against because, you know, we own several different fighting games together, which he mostly gets off me. But, you know, it really started with Dragon Ball Xenoverse, where we first met, and we pretty much became rivals just innately. You know, every game that we get together, we play against each other to see who can come out on top, see who can make each other better, and, you know, just overall have a good time. So why is he number 5 on this list? Well, a major reason why he's on this list to begin with is consistency. Like I said, with the honorable mentions, those guys is pretty much a one and done session. I haven't played those guys since those videos, you know, aired. But for Pretty Boy, you know, we're Discord friends. So honestly, like, at any point I can ask him, you know, do you want to do a set in this game? Do you want to play this, or do you want to help me train? And 8 times out of 10 he'll agree, or, you know, say, you know, later on or something like that. But 8 times out of 10 he'll agree to help me out if I ask for it. So that's why he's in the top 5 is consistency. Now, why isn't he higher on the list is actually a pretty how you say I don't want to say unique, but it's a troubling thing. So pretty plays in a way where it's challenging but not for the right reasons, especially in specific games. So let me explain myself. So in Dragon Ball FighterZ, he's not really a challenge at all, honestly, but that's to be expected because honestly I have like 3 years plus of experience in fighting better players, and you know, just overall playing the game more than him is just gonna come naturally. Now when it comes to other fighting games, that's where things get weird or interesting depending on how you look at it. So the next game after FighterZ that we've played was BlazBlue Cross Tag, and in that game he actually played the game a lot more than I did, so he really had home advantage there. And when we did play, I was pretty, you know, terrible as you would expect, but I didn't really feel like, you know, it was impossible to beat him. And you know, which is a good thing. You don't really want to make your opponent feel like, especially your friends, you know, feel like they just can't have fun, because I mean that's the entire point of games. You want to play games to have fun. So, you know, playing BlazBlue with him pretty much made me realize is like, you know, if we play out the games, then maybe it'll be more even than, you know, playing Dragon Ball, where it's pretty much one-sided 90% of the time. So playing BlazBlue was really fun with him, you know, trying out different characters, trying team builds, and it was pretty fun overall. The next game we played was Skullgirls, and this is where things get really interesting because that's a game where we both kind of leveled up pretty much simultaneously. I leveled up a lot more faster because I was looking up guides, I was talking to other people, I joined the Skullgirls Discord, I was, you know, looking up videos, looking at the wiki, I was doing all kinds of stuff. Him, on the other hand, kind of just did it on his own most of the time. Like, he doesn't really, at least not to my knowledge, really research anything. He just kind of just goes in training mode and just does things and just does it. But you know, I respect that. You know, trying to search for stuff that works for you is good, but I like to have a basis for what I want to do. You know, what's the core of the character? How can I make it my own so it feels natural to do? But yeah, that's what happened in Skullgirls. We both leveled up pretty much at the exact same time, so it was pretty much always even. And then after that was Guilty Gear, but we only played that game once, so I don't know if I should count that as an experience or not. But either way, we played multiple fighting games together, and like I said before, it's consistency that makes him in the top 5 for me. Not necessarily the skill level, but because in most games, especially in Dragon Ball, it's never really about the challenge that makes it fun. It's more the fact that I can actually play the game with someone that I actually enjoy playing against, you know. So that's why he's number 5. You know, consistency mostly, and he can, you know, catch me off guard every now and again, but most of the time it's never really a skill factor in most situations, I should say. But because his consistency is the number 1 reason why he's here. So no shots in the dark, man, but that's just how it is. So that being said, let's go to number 4. Okay, so number 4 on the list is actually a relatively new player to the channel, and this guy is Superstar 252. So this guy premiered in the video Philia is a Mixed Monster. And so basically, when I was doing a live stream on Skullgirls, and I was labbing for I think about an hour and a half or 2 hours or something, and I decided to go online and see if I can actually find, you know, people to play against. And lo and behold, I actually got lucky and found him. So Superstar played the team of Philia and Fukua, a duo team, and we pretty much just had like an hour-long set of just going at it. I believe the score was like something like 16-2 or something like that. It was just me mostly getting stopped most of the time. So yeah, that's basically where he came from. Now, why he's number 4? Just mostly just due to the fact that I just had so much fun playing against him. And honestly, all he really did was beat me with just fighting game fundamentals, rather than, you know, Skullgirl's nonsense like crazy resets and undizzy, you know, undizzy baits or anything. He was just mostly just fighting game fundamentals, really. But I just had so much fun fighting him, and if you watch the video, you know that I was on it, bro. Like, I was like, bro, this guy is just so much fun. Like, you know, he was a challenge, but he wasn't to the point where he felt unbeatable. Like, I was like, okay, well, you know, if this doesn't work, then I can do this, and sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. So, you know, that's why he's number 4. It's just I just had so much fun playing against him. Reason why he's not higher: consistency. Never played him again afterwards, mostly because Skullgirls doesn't really have, you know, a player base on PlayStation. Most of the player base is on PC, so, you know, it's gonna be a while before we ever meet up again. But like I said, number 4 spot, because just so damn fun playing against. So yeah. All right, number 3. So number 3 goes to Critical 423. So this guy premiered in a Skullgirls video called Labbing Actually Matters. So once again, I was streaming Skullgirls after labbing for a little bit, and I decided to go online. He wasn't the first guy I fought, but he was the second one to show up in the lobby. And when I tell you this guy is good, man, he's probably the best Skullgirls player I've fought ever, probably. He played the team of Robo, Fortune, and Annie, and pretty much I just got mixed the entire time. Like, the shit he was doing with those 2 characters was just way too good. Like, I just couldn't handle it. You know, it wasn't to the point where he was unbeatable, because I definitely did, you know, win a couple matches against him, but it was a pretty hard fought battle, you know. And most of the time I just lost anyway. But, you know, this guy, pretty much the same with Superstar. I just had so much fun fighting him that I just had to put him on this list. The thing that separates him from Superstar and Pretty is that this guy had like really good Skullgirls knowledge. Like, this guy knew his stuff. He knew the resets. He knew the undizzies. He knew the mix. Like, this guy was on it. Like, he knows his team. Superstar knew his team too, but like I said, it was mostly just due to basic fighting game fundamentals that caught me. This guy legit Skullgirls mixed me, and it was just a blast to play. So that's why Critical is number 3, because he was just so much fun, and he knew how to play Skullgirls. So yeah, Critical, you the man. Okay, going back to Dragon Ball FighterZ, we have for number 2, we have Shattuck 416, and this guy premiered on the video Blue Vegeta Krillin Super Saiyan Vegeta number 4. So Shattuck is honestly probably one of the best Dragon Ball FighterZ players I've fought like ever. This guy had crazy good fundamentals. He played the team of Krillin, Master Roshi, and Base Goku, or at least at the time. And this guy really showed me what Krillin could really do with strong characters. The thing about my team is my team isn't really built for Krillin. Like, since I ran Blue Vegeta at the time, the only assist I could really bank on was B assist, because it was a pretty fast assist with some decent blocks done. But when it came to Super Saiyan Vegeta, he doesn't really do anything that gives Krillin like a real advantage. Like, his A assist is fast and can catch people mashing, but I mean, it's a key blast assist. Unless it tracks or has some sort of special properties, not really anything to be afraid of. So I was really fighting an uphill battle when fighting, you know, Shattuck's Krillin. And at the time, Roshi B wasn't nerfed yet, so that team was actually really good. And he pretty much showed me, what Krillin can really do and how to play Roshi and honestly a little bit of base Goku too. Just overall, his team was really solid. He really knew how to play Dragon Ball. Fundamentals were good. Had a lot of fun fighting against him, and pretty much showed me, how to be better in a lot of ways. Even though we never talked before, it's just he's number 2 on this list just on the sheer amount of just fundamental stuff that I learned from watching him play Krillin and how to build teams around him. Just make me really appreciate fighting him, because now I really know how Krillin wants to be played and how to build teams around that. And yeah, that's really important, as Krillin is the poster child of the channel. That's really important. So he makes number 2 for those reasons, and let's go into the number 1 opponent I've ever faced. So let's get to it. Alright, so the number 1 opponent I've ever faced is, if you guessed it, my mentor, TRUEDBZMaster. So this guy debuted not in an actual fight, but actually in a review of a video. So this guy reviewed my Krillin, Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Vegeta, and Super Saiyan Vegeta number 2 video. And he was basically talking about how like my fundamentals were lacking and my resource management was really bad at the time. And basically he's the one who really got me started in taking fighters more seriously, and showing me that I really had a lot to learn in terms of just playing the core game. Like, not even talking about character specific stuff like, Krillin Oki or Blue Vegeta mix or anything like that. He was just telling me how the core of Dragon Ball should be played and how to just be better in general at fighting games. And honestly, that alone would already make him a number 1, but he's really good at the game as well. Like I said in another video, I've only beaten him a handful of times. Like, I can probably count on my hand, or maybe my second hand, the amount of times that I've beaten him. Probably 6 to 7 times, honestly. In total, remember that, guys. If you look on the channel, I fought this guy a lot, and only being able to beat him like 7 times, like, that's a pretty impressive record. So yeah, so basically TRUEDBZMaster is my mentor in terms of fighting games and mostly Dragon Ball, but fighting game fundamentals are pretty much universal to every fighting game. So he's kind of just my mentor. I don't really like calling him Dragon Ball Fighter's mentor, because he's done so much for other games that it just feels wrong to limit him to just one game. So TRUEDBZMaster, I really owe you a lot. You're a lot of fun to play against, and you pretty much showed me that no matter how good I think I am, I can always improve, and just going back to the basics is never a bad thing. Like, learning your frame data again, just practicing just your basic stuff. You don't always have to go for the most fancy combos or go for the most in-depth mix. Like, just knowing good fundamentals can take you a very long way, and that's what he showed me. And yeah, and that's why he's my number 1 opponent I've ever faced. So if you guys have any comments, please put them down below. If you guys liked the video, and please press that like button and subscribe to the channel for more stuff in the future. And look forward to the next top 5 I will be doing tomorrow as well. So keep your notifications rung, you know what I'm saying? So that being said, guys, I really hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next video. Sayonara.